Good evening and welcome to yet another edition of Electricity Town Hall, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC), aimed at keeping consumers of electricity abreast of happenings in the power sector. The program comes your way every Monday on the network service of Radio Nigeria at 7 o'clock in the evening. NERC is the regulator of the nation's power sector, interfacing with electricity generation companies known as GENCOs, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN), and the distribution companies (DISCOs. I am David Umoru, your anchor. The Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI) is the framework for electricity generation, transmission, and distribution in Nigeria. It's a critical sector that plays a vital role in Nigeria's economic development, fueling industries and improving the standard of living. However, the NESI faces ongoing challenges such as providing reliable and affordable power to a growing population. One area that has remained critical has been the distribution sector, where consumers are given electricity and in turn required to pay for services rendered. Owing to issues surrounding electricity supply, consumption, bills, electricity theft, consumer protection, compliance and enforcement, the federal government has introduced several initiatives geared towards protecting the consumer, while also providing the investor the enabling environment to get returns on their investment. Today we'll be talking on non-compliance with forum decision in the Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI). What reasons are responsible for non-compliance with forum decisions and how does it affect the nation's power sector? These and more will be interrogated tonight on Electricity Town Hall as we look at compliance and enforcement in the Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI). We have in the studio a Manager, Research and Data Analytics Division of NERC, Mutari Aliyu. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. We also have a Senior Manager, Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of the Commission, Leah Bulus.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us also. Also, we have in the studio a regulatory officer from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of NERC, Kelvin Keltus.
Thank you, David.
All right, I'll begin with you, Mutari. How are customers' complaints generally handled in the Nigerian electricity supply industry (NESI)?
Electricity customers are required to approach their respective DISCOs, that is the distribution companies. Every distribution company is required to set up a customer complaint unit where they will be responsible to take customers' complaint and resolve it, be it a billing complaint or anything that has to do with electricity supply from the distribution company. So if a customer at that stage did not get his complaint resolved or is not satisfactorily resolved, he can approach the set of NERC forum offices that are set up in all the distribution companies. The forum office would look at the merit of those complaints in the first instance, then contact the DISCOs. If the issue is not resolved, they will set for a hearing where the forum will look at the merit of the complaint and pass a resolution for the DISCOs to implement. So, and at the third level, at the same time, if the complaint is not satisfactorily addressed, or if the forum have a hearing and they make a decision, this customer is not satisfied with the resolution, he can as well go to the NERC headquarters and they will look at the cases and it will be resolved.
Okay, Leah, you have the floor for this forum. Let's get to this forum he keeps mentioning. What exactly are NERC forums and what role do they play in resolving electricity disputes?
Okay, thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Complaints go to the forum office when they are not resolved by the distribution companies. Forum offices are set up by the commissions. They are like quasi-judicial bodies set up by the commission in various states where we have distribution companies. So the forum offices consist of a panel, which is, they have 5 members drawn from professional bodies like lawyers, engineers, consumer protection. We also have civil society members also represented in the forum offices. And what they do actually is to listen to the complaints brought by customers when resolutions at the distribution company fails. So they listen to the complaints, they hear evidence from parties and also pass a resolution. Before now, the Commission has forum offices all over the country. However, since the passage of the Electricity Act, some states have taken over regulatory oversight for their states. So what this means is that the forum offices for the Commission in those states have been withdrawn, have been closed, and the staff of the Commission manning those offices have been withdrawn. We have about 10 states that have gone now, and I think about 5 states that have applied and are also about to exit the Commission's regulatory control. And so what this means is that in those states, the forum offices have been closed and the Commission no longer attend to customer complaints from those states.
Okay, so how does a customer lodge a complaint with a NERC forum, and what is the process for handling such complaints?
Okay, so just like the process with the DISCO, complaints at the NERC forum offices are presented in writing, either via letters, or you could use the emails of the forum offices to lodge your complaints. And once those complaints have been received by the forum officer, he will acknowledge the complaints, he will write the discourse and have them respond to the issues raised by the customer. And after that, he will invite the customer at a date set by the forum office, and the hearing will be held. And both the customer and the distribution company would present their case. And just like my colleague said earlier on, the forum will make a decision.
Kelvin, I'll come to you on this one. How compliant have DISCOs been when it comes to customer relations and resolving issues? How compliant have they been in respect of the rules the Commission have put in place?
Okay, thank you, David. Basically, the Commission has ensured that DISCOs need to comply with forum decisions and also customer complaint, and because DISCOs are usually the last factor in the value chain, right? So they get the electricity that they tend to use. So where you have issues of billing or the Commission has ensured that there are regulations that guide and ensure compliance. So recently, I think last year, the Commission passed the order on performance monitoring framework, and in that order, it mandates DISCOs to ensure that firm decisions are fully complied with, to the point that where there are instances of non-compliance to a certain degree, it has the potential of even taking out the top management of the DISCO. So it's that serious by the Commission. The Commission doesn't take handling customer complaints lightly, because customers have suffered for a long time, right? So the Commission is really keen on ensuring that customer complaints are properly handled by DISCOs.
Okay, good enough. You talked about how stringent they are. Apart from that, are there other penalties for DISCOs who violate consumer rights, and how are these enforced?
Okay, so yeah, we have penalties. So for instance, for firm decisions, right, non-compliance by DISCO attracts a fine of almost 10,000 naira per day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's to the detriment of the DISCO not to even comply with a firm decision. So usually firm decisions are top level compliance for the DISCOs, because they know that where there's non-compliance with the firm decision, it counts from the day the decision is delivered. And so usually where you have decisions there's the firm decision is usually, there's a timeline for compliance. So let's say you have instance of, okay, you're supposed to probably reconcile or issue credit adjustment within 10 days. On the 11th day, if there's no compliance, that's when the Commission start counting the fine, and it goes up. So DISCOs usually don't want that issue of fines.
Okay, when you talked about 10,000 naira per day,
Yeah.
we look at it from the point of if it's against an individual. Let's talk about when the DISCO violates an entire community's right now, and let's say there are 200 households within that area, is it 10,000 naira per household now or per day, or it's still...
Well, so the principal thing here, right, is first of all, you're ensuring compliance.
Okay.
Right? So we first of all ensure that there is compliance. And where there's no compliance, the firm decision, the fine is on the decision.
On the decision, okay.
Not on a per house basis. So if you have a firm decision that says you should fix a community, maybe the supply in a community, and you don't, the fine is 10,000 per day. And it's not like it's coming to us, right? So the commission's fines don't go to the commission. It's not a source of revenue. So it's meant to even help local communities. So the fines that the commission issues go to the Rural Electrification Fund, which helps the Rural Electrification Agency, which is another agency in the power sector. And that fund is meant to help the underserved and unserved, usually the low amongst us. So that fine is not a motivation for it's not a source of revenue, right? So it's the penalty goes 10,000 per day, and when you don't, we fine you, and the proceeds go to the Rural Electrification Fund.
How long are you supposed to validate this one that gives you 10,000 naira per day? Because is it 1 week, 2 weeks, 15 days, 21 days?
No, so for each firm decision, it has own peculiarities, right? Okay. So issues of billing will be different from issues of transformer. Okay. So there's usually, and that's how we have professionals manned in the firm, right? So they know the peculiarity of each case. So they will know if it's a transformer related issue, if it's a repair, they know how long it will take to repair a transformer. When that period passes and you don't repair the transformer, then
the violation begins.
To it.
Thank you. We'll still come to this NERC forum officers and also the steps taken for complaints to be lodged in these areas. You're listening to Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, you definitely will be hearing more issues, especially talking about the consequences of non-compliance with forum decisions by the discos and more. Stay with us.
This is Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We will be back shortly.
In the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI, compliance is not optional, it's essential. Non-compliance triggers enforcement actions by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. Here's why compliance is important. Every market participant must play by the same rules to build trust in the Nigerian electricity market. Operators must maintain safe infrastructure and deliver reliable electricity to protect lives and property. Compliance is essential for consumer protection. You cannot be disconnected without prior notice. For national grid stability, operators must adhere to technical and operational standards. When operators don't comply, there are legal and financial penalties that include fines, license suspension or revocation. So, compliance fosters a stable, fair and secure electricity market, benefiting consumers and operators. Learn more at www.nerc.gov.ng. NERC, keeping the lights on.
We are back with Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria.
Welcome back. It's still Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We're discussing compliance and enforcement in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI, and we're looking at non-compliance with foreign decisions. We have been speaking with a manager, research and data analytics division of NERC, Mutari Aliyu. Thank you once again for being on the program.
Thank you, Sir David.
Also a senior manager, legal licensing and compliance division of the commission, Leah Budders. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
And also a regulatory officer from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of NERC, Kelvin Kelters. Thank you once again for being here.
Thank you, David.
Okay, before we took a short break, we were talking about customers' complaints via channels. So, Leah, tell us more. on these complaint channels, and how tenable are the social media handles?
Okay, so we mentioned earlier that before a consumer will approach the forum office, the consumer must have reached out to the distribution company that supplies him or her electricity to complain. So the distribution companies are mandated to have social media handles or any open up means of communication, so that communicating a customer problem to them would not be an issue, whether it is WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. And when a customer reaches out to the distribution companies, he or she is going to have evidence via that conversation that I have done that. And within the time stipulated, if the distribution company is not able to handle the complaint within the time stipulated by our regulations, the customer has that as an evidence to approach the forum office for redress.
Okay, Mutare, I'll come to you on this. How are consumers being educated about their rights and responsibilities in the electricity market?
Thank you, Mr. David. The Commission has developed consumer rights and obligations. So, and the Commission also carries out like town hall meetings where it engages with electricity customers and the distribution companies. In these town hall meetings, it resolves like spots on complaints, and it also enlightens customers on their rights and obligations as well. So, and mostly, even on the bills, the estimated bills that discuss issue to their customers, the Commission makes sure that they put right information like forum office addresses, the complaint redress mechanism. So these are all captured in the electricity bills to ensure that customers can get information easily on their rights and obligation.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, you want to add something, dear?
Yeah, just to add, this is another platform that the consumers get to know about their rights and how to go about their resolution of their complaints.
I love that one. And we broadcast all around Nigeria and even beyond, and get into rural areas to be able to. And talking about rural areas, we made mention of forum offices, right? Forum offices are usually located where now? Is it the state capitals?
Yes, in most cases.
Okay, so how do we reach those in the rural areas now?
We mentioned earlier on that you could access the forum office through your phones. So I think the easiest means of communication is your phone.
If you have those phone lines, I think it would be nice to call them out.
So I have, it's available on the website of the Commission, but it's also here. We can call it out.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so the NERC forum office for Abuja is 081 4686 225.
Can you take that again?
Okay, 081 4686 225. And also the email, you can easily send emails from your phone now. You don't need to go anywhere. The email address is also on our website, but in case you need it here, it's also abujaforum@nerc.gov.ng.
Okay, how about, do you have presence on social media, on the social media space?
Yes, we do. We have on Instagram, we have on...
Please, mention these handles, because we would like to know. They are quicker to follow, I can't remember the last time some people opened their emails. So if you have this, so as we go on the show, if you have the handles, you can also let people know, let our listener know, so they can also reach out on those ones. Okay, Mutare, again to you. What option does a customer have if a disco fails to comply with the forum's decision, or if the customer is unhappy with the outcome?
Okay, compliance with forum decisions, it's one of the key performance indicators that the Commission outlines to hold discourse responsible, also to improve the commercial and operational services of the sector. So if a customer is not satisfied with if a customer is not satisfied with the decisions of the forum, or if they make a ruling and in his favor and the disco fail to comply with those rulings, he has an option of he can forward such complaints to the headquarters, so that we make sure that we enforce the compliance. So in any of the forum offices, like you asked earlier, the forum offices are situated in the state capitals, not in any of the local governments. If at the hearing process, the forums, the staff of the commission, the forum secretaries that are in charge of those offices, enlighten the customers and the discourse as well. If at the end of the hearing, if they had a hearing and the customer is not satisfied with the forum decision, he can appeal to the headquarters within a specific time frame of 10 days from the date of the ruling. So that gives him an option if he's not satisfied with the forum. But in a situation whereby the forum did a ruling and in his favor and the DISCO did not comply with these rulings, he can contact the NERC headquarters. Even the forum officer as well would forward the non-compliance, what we call non-compliance resolution, to the headquarters for enforcement.
Very numbers have been called out. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So and the commission, like we've mentioned earlier, will enforce this ruling because the commission has the power to issue directives to enforce this ruling, and like I said, it can involve even financial consequences or taking up top management of the DISCO.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm sure the listener will also be very glad to hear that. Mr. Kelvin.
Okay, so just to add here, when you go to our website, there's a part that allows you to, it's written in, you will see like yellow, so you go to www.nerc.gov.ng, it takes you to our website and you see a part that says need help. Okay. So that's basically for the customers. So when you click on that, there gives you a breakdown of how you can lodge your complaints. If you go under, you will see our social media handles separate. So you just click on one and it automatically redirect you to our pages on the social media handles.
Okay, you talked about you see the processes, but before we go, what's some of the information required of a customer lodging a complaint?
Okay, so if basically if for instance you have issues on billing, right, or maybe you've not had supply, right, you probably have pictures, you just try to ensure that there's supporting evidence that will make easier resolution of your complaints, because sometimes where you just write an email, if you have the ability to add additional evidence that will aid dispensation, since we are not there. Okay. So if you have additional evidence that will aid the dispensation of your complaint, it will really help the commission to do its work.
All right, as we wrap up finally, what message, I'll begin with you, Leah, what message do you have for Nigerian electricity consumers listening right now, especially those frustrated with metering and billing issues?
Okay, so I think to cap all that we have said is that there is always room for redress, and our processes are free of charge, they are accessible, and they are available. So whenever you pick up your phone, you can send a complaint. Whenever you're on WhatsApp, you can always type out your complaint and somebody will attend to you.
All right, Mr. Mutari.
Okay, electric consumers should always know that NERC have a redress mechanism that can listen to their complaints and resolve such cases. Another advice is that I will advise customers to always please look for the information on their bills, because we observe mostly customers, if you receive your bills, your eyes will just go to the amount you are charged. So okay. Without
all right, Mr. Kelvin, any word?
Okay, I mean, just to add, customers should try and ensure that they utilize the options the commission is here to serve Nigerians. We're not here to serve ourselves, right? So try to engage the available channels and you have a complaint resolved.
All right, thank you very much. And my own final word from me here, I'll say, do not tap electricity. Since you didn't mention, should they tap?
No.
They should tap. I was hoping that you advised.
I mean, we all know that is
an
not only morally wrong, it's an offense.
Exactly, it's an offense. Do not do anything illegal on the electricity infrastructure in the country. And this is where we end today's edition of Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. I've been speaking with the Manager Research and Data Analytics Division of NERC, Notari Aliyu. thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Also, we had Senior Manager, Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of the Commission, Leah Bullis. Thank you, Madam, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And the Regulatory Officer, also from the Legal Licensing and Compliance Division of NERC, Kelvin Kelters. Thank you once again.
My pleasure, David.
Thank you all for your insightful contributions and also for coming on the program this evening. Okay, appreciation to the production team, Studio Manager Rosemary Krisungu, Facilitator Conrad Labi, Producer Sunday Goche. Special thanks to our Executive Producer Soshima K and David Umoru. See you next Monday for another interesting edition of Electricity Town Hall. Goodbye.